Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Steelers announce adding untapped potential to defensive line. The Pittsburgh Steelers announced on March 19 that they signed defensive tackle Eze Odomwo to a one-year contract. The Pittsburgh Steelers continued to address their defensive line depth in NFL free agency. The team announced on March 19 that it agreed to a one-year contract with defensive tackle Eze Odomwo. Last season, Odomwo played 4 games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Odomwo appeared in 5 games with the Minnesota Vikings during his rookie season in 2022. The Vikings selected Odomwo at number 165 overall in the 5th round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Prior to the draft, NFL.com's Lance Zierlein projected Odomwo as a 6th-round choice. However, Zierlein hyped the defensive tackle for his high ceiling. Long-levered defensive end with impressive body composition but limited playmaking production, Zierlein wrote prior to the 2022 draft. He is a diligent, team-oriented defender with a focus on executing assignments but could leave a team hungry for more playmaking capability. There is untapped potential still lurking. Zierlein concluded writing the defensive tackle could be too limited to become more than a rotational end with run-defending upside. The former Vikings draft pick is the second defensive tackle the Steelers have signed this week. Late on March 16, the Steelers inked former New England Patriots defensive tackle Daniel Ekuale to a contract. At the beginning of NFL free agency, the Steelers released veteran Larry Ogunjobi. Ekuale and Odomwo don't have the same talent or experience as Ogunjobi. But the Steelers may view the combination of the two as quality insurance to replace Ogunjobi until the team can find a younger long-term solution. Ogunjobi had 1.5 sacks with 41 combined tackles, including 5 tackles for loss and 7 quarterback hits in 15 games last season. In 5 games with the Vikings as a rookie during 2022, Odomwo posted 5 combined tackles, including 1 for loss. Then with the Jaguars last season, the 5th-round pick registered 4 combined tackles. During 2 of his 4 games in Jacksonville, Odomwo started. He has 179 snaps of experience on defense in the NFL. Odomwo has also played 88 snaps on special teams. Odomwo played in Minnesota during college as well. For the Golden Gophers, the defensive lineman recorded 14 tackles for loss and 7.5 sacks in 46 games. As a senior, he had 5 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. Adding defensive line depth became key for the Steelers after the release of Ogunjobi. But ultimately, the team needs to get younger up front on defense. Admittedly, Odomwo is younger. He won't turn 27 until late December. That makes him worth adding in the hopes that he can discover the untapped potential Zierlein thought he possessed 3 years ago. But the Steelers could still use a bigger defensive line upgrade through the draft. Soon-to-be 36-year-old Cameron Hayward is still the leader of Pittsburgh's defensive front, although former second-round pick Keanu Benton is coming into his own. The Steelers also have Montravius Adams, Dean Lowry, DeMarvin Leal and Logan Lee set to man their defensive line this season. Odomwo will likely compete with Ekuale for a role in the middle of the line. The Steelers also have defensive linemen Dominique Davis and Jacob Slade under contract. Pittsburgh could add to the group in the draft, but most mock draft experts aren't expecting the team to do that at number 21 overall in the 1st round. The Steelers' next selection will be number 83 overall in the 3rd round. How long will Steelers, Giants wait for Aaron Rodgers? The calliope has stopped for the NFL's game of musical chairs. Multiple teams had been waiting for Aaron Rodgers to pick a seat, any seat. If he's not going to do it anytime soon, at what point does the chase for chairs continue without him? The Steelers and Giants are seemingly waiting for Rodgers to make a decision before making moves with other veteran quarterbacks. Caught in the wash of Rodgers' delay are players like Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, and, if a trade is possible from the Falcons, Kirk Cousins. With the Vikings reportedly not signing Rodgers at this time and with Rodgers potentially waiting to see whether J.J. McCarthy performs well enough during the offseason program to keep the Vikings from breaking glass in event of emergency, will the Steelers and Giants keep waiting, too? Or will they move on? It's more imperative for the Giants, who currently have one quarterback on the roster, journeyman who has yet to do much journeying, Tommy DeVito. They desperately need anyone on whom they can pin even a portion of their hopes for 2025. They've brought in Wilson, Flacco, and Winston for visits in the past week. The Steelers have two quarterbacks on the roster, Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. Rudolph performed well down the stretch for the Steelers in 2023, after the soft benching of Kenny Pickett, and before Rudolph wanted more than the Steelers were inclined to pay. Thompson, like Rudolph, has once started a playoff game in Buffalo. The Steelers seem to be in better position to let it ride through the draft than the Giants. It's also possible the Steelers and/or Giants could add a veteran with the understanding that, if Rodgers comes calling at some point down the road, the veteran will be sent packing. That will make the terms of any contract even more important. The fully guaranteed money at signing, or lack thereof, will shine plenty of light on whether the veteran is at risk of being thrown overboard when Rodgers shows up. There's also a chance that, when Rodgers decides to take a job with one of the team to which he has been linked, no jobs will be open. He surely understands this fact, and he seems to be willing to accept the risk that the chairs will be filled, and won't be tipped over and emptied, when he finally decides to make his move. On Wednesday's PFT Live, I complained about Rodgers seemingly waiting to make his choice. It now seems that he's strategically waiting for whether he'll have a chance to choose the Vikings. Which, if true, raises a key question for the Steelers and Giants. Breaking: Steelers Mike Tomlin has personal dinner with QB replacement. The Pittsburgh Steelers seem to be in the midst of a controversial offseason. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields were their quarterbacks in 2024, however, it will be a completely new group in 2025. Aaron Rodgers has been linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers from the moment that he was released. However, it's not Rodgers that Pittsburgh's head coach Mike Tomlin is having dinner with. Teams interested in Jalen Milroe will be in Tuscaloosa on Wednesday for Alabama's Pro Day. Tom Pelissero of NFL Media reports that Milroe had dinner with Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, general manager Omar Khan and quarterbacks coach Tom Arth before his big moment. Pittsburgh still needs a quarterback, with Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson as the only players under contract at the position currently. Four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers hasn't made his decision, and the Steelers are believed on his list of potential employers. Veteran defensive lineman Cam Hayward said Tuesday of Rodgers' indecision that either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. The Steelers, who have the 21st overall pick, could find their starter in next month's draft, and Milroe is a possibility. Milroe threw for 2,844 yards with 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, and he ran for another 726 yards and 20 scores. He was 21-6 as a starter, but only 9-4 this season with losses to Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Michigan. And you fan? What do you think about Jalen Milroe's situation? Write to us in the comments.